Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome to our 1920 Faculty Awards, right? So the University of the West Indies through the Faculty of Engineering welcomes you to the second annual Faculty Awards ceremony for the 2019-2020 year, right? So we have a wonderful evening set up for you here today. I am Dr. Nicolas McMorris, your MC for the night. So I'll be guiding you through the program and facilitating all the changeovers. So we have an evening planned for you, an evening of music, prizes, and of course engineering. We have to put together some engineering to make this virtual presentation awards work tonight. So there's some engineering happening in the background. As you all know, engineering happens all around us. We want to make some special acknowledgements tonight. First of all, to the principal of the Mona campus and the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Dale Weber. We also want to acknowledge the Managing Director of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, Mr. Omar Sweeney, who is going to be the speaker. We want to say a special welcome to our Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Adrian Lawrence, and the former Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Mona School of Engineering, Professor Paul Aiken, if he is able to join us tonight. Our Deputy Deans, faculty, staff, students, of course, and all well-wishers who are gathered with us today. Good evening. So there's a program that's outlined for us today, and we're going to get right into it. So with that, I'm going to welcome Dr. Adrian Lawrence, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, who is going to provide us with some opening remarks. Dean?
Thank you, Dr. McMorris. Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of the West Indies, Mona Campus, Professor Dale Weber, Managing Director of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, and keynote speaker, Mr. Omar Sweeney, Deputy Deans, Head of Programs, students, parents, friends. Good night, good evening, and welcome to the Faculty of Engineering's awards ceremony. This annual ceremony is always a high point for the faculty, as it gives us the opportunity to recognize the hard work of our students, those who by their stellar achievements have distinguished themselves amongst all of our students. This evening, we celebrate them. The past year has been one characterized by rapid changes and swift adjustments. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the faculty and indeed the university rapidly switched to delivering courses online. While one of the pluses of this new format is that it allows for asynchronous absorption of lecture content, our students, lecturers, and staff faced many challenges, including adapting to learning from home, teaching from home, and perhaps most significantly, the inability to exchange ideas, which is obviously more easily done by face-to-face social interaction. This year's awards ceremony should therefore be viewed as an opportunity for us to celebrate our collective efforts at overcoming these challenges and, most importantly, recognizing the important and outstanding performances of our students. Family members, friends, and colleagues of Awardees, I ask you to take a moment now to salute them and give them a round of applause. Awardees, bask in the accolades. You have done extremely well. Through your hard work, you have distinguished yourselves as extremely good students. Now, I want to speak directly to our graduating class of 2020. Having successfully completed your respective degree programs, each of you have been given a solid foundation in core areas of engineering. Your Mona engineering degrees is an indication that you are technically competent and were prepared for immediate employment. You are now ambassadors for the university and for the faculty. I have no doubt that you will continue to make us proud. And at this point, I want to make special mention to the 11 first-class honorees we graduated this year. First-class honors is the highest mark of distinction, which signifies that you have graduated at the top of your class. Finally, in closing, I want to again congratulate all of our awardees for their achievements and encourage you all to continue to strive for excellence in whatever you do. Again, congratulations.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Dean. Those were words that I echo as well. We have had some difficult times here, both on the faculty side and the student side, and I really can commend the students for how well they have adapted to the situation. Following that, we're going to have a pre-recorded speech from our principal, who is going to talk to us and give us some greetings now. So with that, we're going to shift to that pre-recorded.
Dr. Nicolas McMorris, Master of Ceremonies and Deputy Dean, Graduate Studies, Innovation, Industrialization and Commercialization. Mr. Omar Sweeney, our guest speaker and Managing Director, Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. Dr. Adrian Lawrence, Dean, Faculty of Engineering. Dr. Roxann Stennett Brown, Deputy Dean, Teaching, Learning and Student Matters. Dr. Leighton Ellis, Deputy Dean, Quality Assurance. Mr. Lyndon Faulkner, Head Electronics Engineering Program. Dr. Judith Robinson, the UE class of 1967. Mr. Nile Anderson, Guild Representative, Faculty of Engineering. Awardees, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am pleased to bring greetings in my capacity as Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of the West Indies Mona campus at this, the 2021 staging of the Faculty of Engineering Awards ceremony. I must extend a special greeting to Mr. Omar Sweeney, who has taken time out of his busy schedule to be our guest speaker this evening. I also wish to express my gratitude to the Dean, Dr. Adrian Lawrence, and the entire Faculty of Engineering, academic and administrative team for organizing this program to recognize our outstanding student engineers. Thank you. Differentiating academic excellence. What does this mean for us as a regional higher educational institution? It means we are in an institution focused on growth and being an instrument to facilitate regional development. As such, we commit to preparing our students by offering programs that are regionally relevant, globally competitive. We commit to designing a holistic student experience that will sharpen existing skills and develop new ones within our students. We commit to promoting through our teaching, research, and outreach values that we believe are essential to the advancement of our societies. Differentiating academic excellence means that academia must make a difference by serving the needs of the nation, the region, and the world. And that is what we do here at the UWI. As principal, I was particularly proud to read about how our students are putting their theory into practice with innovations that are responsive to our local economic and infrastructural conditions. For example, Daniel Julal's low-cost electronics patient monitoring system and Justine Shaw's computerized vehicle pass system that uses near-field communication technology. These are easily ideas that should be taken on board by both large and small organizations across the region. As a campus, we've had to realign our resources to deal with the fallout from the onset of COVID-19, and the Faculty of Engineering has been at the forefront in terms of helping us with the efforts of producing low-cost face shields for our healthcare professionals, repairing ventilators for the university hospital. The students in the faculty were central in making those efforts a reality. I believe that you truly understand what it means to use your education to make a difference. Awardees, it is with great joy that I say congratulations to you on your achievements. You have worked hard. Now you reap the rewards. Special commendations to Daniel Jalal and Talicia Mussington, who both achieved GPAs of 3.98, and Daniel Donald, who is the 2020 recipient of the Class of 1967 Award for Excellence in Leadership. And thank you, Dr. Robinson, for continuing to make this possible. Awardees, you are the embodiment of academic excellence, and I do believe that our collective futures are in good hands because they're in your hands. For those who did not win awards, use this as inspiration for you to be the awardees next year. Please accept my best wishes for your next steps on your journey. We are a light rising from the west, and you are our light. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you. Those were wonderful words from our principal there guiding us as to how to proceed. Let me take a moment here to give special welcome to the class of 1967, those who have joined us, and also to mention that Miss Lorna Parkins, who is going to be representing the class of 1967, will be presenting their award that we greatly appreciate. So with that, we are going to continue to move on. That will be the change in the program. Mrs. Lorna Parkins instead of the previous speaker. And we're going to move on to an introduction of the guest speaker from Mr. Nile Anderson, who is a student and guild representative of the Faculty of Engineering, Mona. So he's going to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Omar Sweeney. Nile?
Hello everyone, my name is Nile Anderson, your MES president. And today, it is my honor to introduce to you your guest speaker, Mr. Omar Sweeney. Mr. Omar Sweeney is an astute engineering professional with a wealth of experience over 2 decades in the areas of both civil and construction engineering and project management, working for several global entities both in the local and international markets. Mr. Sweeney has been appointed by the Prime Minister of Jamaica to the Professional Engineers Registration Board as chairman of the board to serve from November 2020 to November 2022. Having served as chairman in the previous term, he is also an active member and past president of the Jamaica Institute of Engineers. Mr. Sweeney is the deputy chairman of the Social Intervention Committee, Zones of Special Operation, and currently holds the post of managing director at the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, which is a lead project management arm for the government of Jamaica in his capacity as managing director. He has portfolio responsibility for the execution of several impactful social intervention and infrastructural projects within vulnerable communities across Jamaica. These projects are funded by the government of Jamaica, the World Bank, the European Union, and the Caribbean Development Bank. Prior to his appointment at JSIF, Mr. Sweeney had served in senior leadership roles at the Jamaica Public Service and the Planning Institute of Jamaica. He is a holder of a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering and a Master of Engineering degree from the University of Florida. He has also successfully completed postgraduate executive training programs at the London School of Economics and the University of Oxford. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you, with no further ado, Mr. Omar Sweeney.
Let me start by saying thank you for the honor to be here tonight under the theme, Differentiating Academic Excellence. Tonight you will honor those persons who have, by way of their actions, behavior, and perseverance, sought to distinguish themselves amongst their peers. I take the opportunity, however, to congratulate all present, because just by virtue of your presence in this distinguished program, you have set yourself on your own path. Initially, I thought about this theme. I found it interesting because it is a natural objective of students to do their best towards academic excellence. So tonight's event is quite timely and an important act and event related to the development of young engineers. I like wisdom. You know, I'm a person who believes in wisdom, but wisdom, of course, as we know, really comes through experience, through exposure. But wisdom can also come from learning from those behaviors and knowledge of persons who came before us. And so I give you a quote from Aristotle. Aristotle says, excellence is an art won by training and habituation. And we can paraphrase and deduce from that, that excellence really comes from practice or from good habits. And so, as the quote says, we can paraphrase and deduce that while excellence comes from good habits, it means, for many of us, a change in behavior. And so it is the exposure and these behaviors that will allow us to form good habits and also allow us to get rid of bad habits which have come over the years. And so another quote, what we are or what we repeatedly do, excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Will Durant. Let me say that again. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. On Sunday, this week actually, I had the benefit and the privilege of seeing my eldest son graduate from university. And as I was there watching the commencement exercises and the students collecting their degrees, it made me reflect and think more about the days when I, many years ago when I actually graduated for the first time. At that time, I thought about what kind of engineer would I become? What kind of professional would I become? You know, what would I be 20, 25 years from now as an engineering professional? And these are thoughts that came to me because after you've spent 4, 5, 6 years studying engineering theories, studying engineering principles, mostly being exposed to professors of engineering, you really have a lot of anxiety and sort of, if you want to say, being unsure about the world and the career choice that you have made. And you know of engineering as a practical subject. It's something that you have to practice. It's something that you have to become good at. You know, how do you know that this thing that you have chosen to do as your livelihood will be one that will be able to sustain you in a quality way? Well, deliberately practicing new behavior has 3 effects. The first effect is that you will get better at doing it, which increases the odds that you will be successful when it matters. The second thing is that you will start to replace the old habits with new ones. And thirdly, you will develop a habit of replacing old habits. Well, the long and short of that really is that, as they say, practice makes perfect. And so as a young engineer, I also had deduced that to the extent that I can expose myself to persons with good habits, to persons with good expertise, to persons with good character, then it would allow me to then see, like I said in my earlier point, to have the wisdom to learn from their wisdom and to learn from their success what excellence and what being a good engineer is about. And so John Ruskin in his quote says, "Quality is never an accident. It is always the result of intelligent effort." And so we must apply our intelligence not only to the work of engineering, we must apply our intelligence to our own careers and to our own development. And so over the years, I will say to you that I've met good engineers. I've met good engineers that can relay engineering solutions, that can innovate. I've met good engineers that are good problem solvers. I've met good engineers that are multi-talented, not even necessarily in the field of engineering, and they've been able to apply their engineering skills and expertise into whatever field they may choose to do. I mean, I had the privilege of meeting an orthopedic surgeon who's an engineer. And so this tells you that as engineers, with the requisite training and the skills that you will receive as students of engineering, we have to know the bounds of our knowledge, but at the same time, your knowledge or your sphere of influence can be boundless. And so the common denominator, or the derivative, I would call it, is what is it that you choose to do with the knowledge that you have. So we've spoken about a couple of things. We've spoken about the fact that it is important that we have good habits. We've spoken about the fact that it is important that we practice our behavior and we practice our skill and our expertise to make ourselves into the best person that we can be. But it is also very important that we are able to have a sense of what is happening around us to be able to develop ourselves into the type of engineer that is adaptable to the environment. So in real terms, engineers in today's world, I mean, there was a time when if you were an engineer, or if you graduated as an engineer, you would really only be expected to provide some technical input. You would be expected to provide engineering solutions to whatever the problem is. In today's world, that's not the case. Today's world demands an engineer that's dynamic. It demands an engineer that's adaptable. It demands an engineer that is able to have a multitude of skills, which includes people skills, influential skills, emotional intelligence, the ability to be flexible and also provide the requisite engineering expertise that is required. And so what that tells you is that this step in your journey of becoming an engineer is only the first step, because while you are here learning the academics and the principles of engineering, you also will have to find your way to be focused. And even events like this one that tells you what are the characteristics that the marketplace and engineers are looking for. I mean, events like this tell you, it shows you engineers who have at least started to prepare themselves to be on that journey. And I want to emphasize, of course, at this time, that the fact that maybe today you're not recognized for an award does not mean that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, your behavior, your practices, your habits will not lead you to an award or becoming some great innovator. And so what we have to do every single experience, my advice would be, is to use that experience to enable your growth and enable your development. And so it is great. I mean, I love to support events like this. I'm quite pleased that the University of the West Indies, through the Faculty of Engineering, is taking the time out to recognize and award students for pursuing the right paths towards their own development. And as an engineer who has been around in the field for some time now, it's really always my wish and desire to support the development of future engineers. And if I were to speak a little bit about career development and career growth, I would say to you as engineers that while compensation is important for future engineers, it is not the number one thing that you need to be looking at right now. The number one thing you need to be looking at in this profession is to see how it is that you can get yourselves in the right opportunities, in the right place where you can develop the habits, be exposed to the wisdom, and be able to practice your craft as much as possible so that you can be that high worth commodity in your own time. And so I take the opportunity again to thank you for allowing me to speak to you tonight. I once again commend and support the work of the department and really look forward to continuing to see these types of events occur and to see the growth and the emergence of you, the students, and the awardees tonight. Congratulations again on all your success today and in the future.
Okay, thank you very much for those wise words, Mr. Sweeney. Yeah, he spoke about those engineers seeking compensation. I always have introductory remark to some of my students, and if I see them in the first year, and I ask them, who's here for a high-paying job and who's here for various reasons. And I tell people, if they're interested in money, you should go and study money. Yeah, we're engineers here, so we beat to a slightly different drum. So with that, let us move on to obviously the Caribbean style drum, right, which is the steel pan, and that harps a lot of Caribbean integration. If you didn't know, that's a wonderful instrument, and we're going to hear a rendition on a steel pan of Coffee's song Toast. So let's go. Yeah, that was good. That was pretty good. I like it. So there we have it again. An engineer who can multitask, right? Multi-talented engineer is what's new. Something else that just occurred to me is that Mr. Sweeney spoke about compensation. You should let your innovation drive compensation, right? So create something new, create a new enterprise, use your engineering in that way, and let that drive your compensation. So we're getting to the meat of the matter now, and we're going to have the presentation of the awards. And the presenters of the awards are first going to be Dr. Roxann Stennett Brown, who is the Deputy Dean of Undergraduate Matters, and she's going to be presenting the most outstanding students for Level 1 and Level 2. So let's hear her.
The Faculty of Engineering is pleased to award the most outstanding Level 1 and Level 2 students for the academic year 2019-2020. From our Biomedical Engineering program, the most outstanding Level 1 student is Mr. Daniel McGill. The most outstanding Level 2 student is Ms. Shanae Elliston. From our Civil Engineering program, the most outstanding Level 1 student is Ms. Ganga Lahaja. The most outstanding Level 2 student is Ms. Ashley McPherson. From our Electrical Power Engineering program, the most outstanding Level 1 student is Mr. Durban Miller. The most outstanding Level 2 student is Ms. Shaloy Davis. From our Electronics Engineering program, the most outstanding Level 1 student is Mr. Nile Anderson. The most outstanding Level 2 student is Mr. Ali Campbell.
For the most outstanding graduates by program, Civil Engineering program, Ms. Talika Mussington. For Computer Systems Engineering program, we have Mr. Galen here. For the Electrical Power Engineering program, we have Mr. Joel Brown. For the Electronics Engineering program, Ms. Danielle Julal. First Class Honourees Class of 2020. For Civil Engineering program, we have Bhumeshwar Jagru, Miss Ashley Mattis, Miss Talika Mussington, Mr. Jason Ryman, Miss Elizabeth Stanley, Mr. Joshua Swaby, Mr. Ronald Trent, and Miss Moya Tolclark. For Electrical Power Engineering program, we have Mr. Joel Brown. For the Electronics Engineering program, Mr. Tavar Brown, Miss Danielle Julal, and Miss Justine Shaw.
Faculty of Engineering, MONA, Class of 1967 Award for Excellence in Innovation and Leadership, 2020 Awardee, Ms. Tanil Donald. The Selection Committee for the UWI Class of 1967 Award for Excellence in Leadership and Innovation in the Faculty of Engineering, MONA, is pleased to name our awardee for the academic year 2019-2020. The Class of 67 has sought to identify awardees whose achievements have been inspirational and who would be at the forefront of a movement to attract and grow greater participation and enrollment in STEM programs and activities. This year, we reviewed the performance of the largest group of students presented for assessment in the 3 years of the program. After much deliberation, we selected a candidate with attributes that display excellence in both leadership and innovation. We are pleased to announce that Ms. Tanil Donald, who is now a third-year student in civil engineering, is the recipient of the UWI Class of 1967 Award for Excellence in Leadership and Innovation for the academic year 2019-2020. Ms. Donald has been an active student leader since her entry into the BSc Civil Engineering program and is known on and off the university campus for readily taking the lead in identifying and finding solutions to varied technical and non-technical problems. She is the Deputy Commuters Representative for the Faculty of Engineering, the Vice President of the MONA Student Chapter of the Institution of Civil Engineers, and the Treasurer of the MONA Student Chapter of the Jamaica Institute of Engineers. She also served as the Deputy Secretary for the MONA Engineering Society, MES, for the 2019-2020 academic year. One of her proudest achievements is her continuing participation in the Jamaica Productivity Center as a productivity ambassador, creating awareness about productivity at the national level, while motivating individuals to improve their own productivity through workshops entitled Productive Sessions. In her direct relationships with the MONA student body, Ms. Donald has served as a student ambassador, policing the campus between classes to encourage her colleagues to complete their student evaluation and fulfill other student obligations. Within the Faculty of Engineering, she has been part of a two-person team conducting informal tutorial sessions for fellow students in Engineering Mathematics 1, an initiative promoted and fostered by the Institution of Civil Engineers to facilitate exam preparation. While working as an intern at the National Works Agency in the summer of 2020, Ms. Donald, on her own initiative, designed a bypass for the main arterial ring road into Buff Bay and presented it to her supervisors for consideration. Although she had not yet been exposed to the Year 3 highway course, she accessed varied resources and sought guidance in areas that she did not fully understand. She notes that it was gratifying to learn that her design, in whole or in part, will be considered for the Buff Bay leg of the highway. In our deliberations, the selection committee considered academic excellence, leadership, and innovation in naming the awardee, and we are very pleased to present Ms. Tanil Donald with a check for $100,000 representing the UWI Class of 1967 Award for Excellence in Leadership and Innovation for 2019-2020, together with a plaque memorializing the event. Thank you.
The University of the West Indies IEEE Student Branch has represented this institution with excellence throughout the years. The robotics team placed third on 3 occasions in 2016, 2018, and 2019. And a team member came first in the research paper competition in 2017 at the annual SouthEastCon conference in the United States. At the conference, over 40 universities participated in the competitions. These include universities from the southeastern region of the United States and the University of Technology and the University of the West Indies from Jamaica. In 2020, the robot's task was to move blocks that were associated with different numbers and stock them in the order of the constant pi, that is 3.141 and so on. The team built the robot and was ready to participate in the competition. Unfortunately, the conference was cancelled because of COVID-19. Today, we would like to acknowledge the members of the team. The first member, Mr. Yakini Wallen Bryan, the team coach or team leader. Mr. Alec Campbell, team member. Mr. Galen Hare, software captain and team member. Mr. Jordan Ailes, hardware captain and team member. Mr. Jermaine James, team member. Miss Danielle Julal, vice chair and team member. Mr. Jordan Madden, team member. Miss Justine Shaw, chair and team member. Thank you very much.
Afternoon again. Right, so we went through all of the presentations there. Obviously, all of them were not read out by Dr. Roxann Stennett Brown. So let me just update you on that. We had the most outstanding graduates by program and first class honorees for 2020. Those were read out by Dr. Leighton Ellis, the Deputy Dean for Quality Assurance. We had the presentation of the class of 1967 Excellence in Leadership and Innovation Award, which was presented by Mrs. Lorna Parkins of the UA class of 1967. Ms. Lorna Parkins has been an executive director of the Caribbean Accreditation Authority for Education in Medicine and other health professions since its establishment in 2004. Prior to her appointment, Ms. Parkins was employed to the University of the West Indies, Mona, from August 1989 to July 2004, where she served as Senior Program Officer in the Office of Planning and Development and retired with the rank of Professor. There are a few other acknowledgements I just need to get through here, so bear with me, Donnell and Daniel. Dr. Marsha Morgan Allen, the Senior Assistant Registrar, we want to just acknowledge you. Sasikia Harris, the Senior Librarian. Professor Ina Boxill, the Deputy Principal. Sandra Powell Mangaroo, the Senior Assistant Registrar, and Lilith Nelson, CD, JP, and PhD. And the Georgia Bennett, the Assistant, Miss Georgia Bennett, the Assistant Registrar. So with that, we're going to move on to the presentation to the guest speaker, which will be done by Donnell, and then we will follow on with the response on behalf of the awardees by Tenny. So let's go.
Good afternoon, everyone tuned in, and especially to our guest speaker, Mr. Omar Sweeney. On behalf of the awardees and guests, I would like to express our gratitude to you for sharing with us as we recognize and celebrate the excellence displayed within the faculty in the last academic year. Thank you for reminding us about the discipline required to achieve great things and encouraging us to practice our skill and seek the wisdom of those who have gone before us. I'm sure it was a timely reminder for everyone listening and we appreciate the thought you put into this inspiring message for us. So we thank you again and wish you continued success.
Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Nicolas McMorris, Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of the West Indies, Mona Campus, Professor Dale Weber, Managing Director of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, and our guest speaker, Mr. Omar Sweeney, the representative of the class of 1967, Mrs. Lorna Parkins, Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Adrian Lawrence, Deputy Deans, lecturers, administrative staff, fellow awardees, family, and friends, good evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the class of 1967 and the planning committee for the award. This award is certainly a motivating factor for the engineering students to continually strive for excellence and take up leadership positions. I am very thankful to be the 2019-2020 recipient for the class of 1967 award. This award has definitely emboldened me to continue on a path of excellence as I grow as a leader. It is with this that I hope to serve as an example going forward to prospective recipients. So I urge you, my colleagues, get involved with clubs, build your community, take on leadership roles, use your initiative, and strive to make a difference, whether by example or by rallying for change. We are the future, so seize the day. Those two phrases may sound like cliches, but they have real implications on the country we inevitably assist in building as future engineers. Think about it. On behalf of the awardees for the academic year 2019-2020, I would just like to express my sincere gratitude to all involved in making this event possible. Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude to the Almighty. Despite the coronavirus pandemic, we all seem to be in reasonable health, which allowed us to be a part of this ceremony today through this online platform. Thank you to our guest speaker, Mr. Omar Sweeney, for imparting your words of knowledge in having good habits and also being our best selves by unlocking skills that we can utilize not only in engineering, but other real-world applications. Special thanks to Ms. Spence and the rest of the administrative staff, as well as the technical support team. I'm sure it was no small feat to execute this event, as whatever challenges experienced would have been exacerbated by the global pandemic afflicting us all. Nevertheless, it was a success. Corona did not stop this show. Thank you also to the various performers that entertained us with their talents. We truly enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you to all the lecturers who push us consistently to maintain our quality of work. By your example and your advice, you equip us with the right disposition needed to succeed. Thank you to the auxiliary staff that ensure our learning environment is continuously kept clean. This definitely has had an impact on our level of focus and boosts our level of performance. Last, but certainly not the least, to parents, family, and friends, you have been there through the ups and downs of this academic year. So we thank you for your support and your guidance in navigating our pathway to success. All in all, this was a very remarkable event. Thank you to everyone who played a role in its successful execution. Have a good evening.
All right, thanks for that, Danielle. That was good. And Danielle, thanks for your vote, for your thanks as well. We're coming to the end, but we're not there yet, so we still have some interesting information to share with you. There are some slides that the Faculty of Engineering has done some work through our members to help the country during this time of COVID. So we have some special acknowledgements here. We see Yakini Wallen Brand, that's going a little too fast. Yakini Wallen Brand, who is alumni. I think that needs to be corrected. It should probably say faculty because he feels like faculty now. But Yakini is alumni, and he started pre-labs, and it manufactured and donated more than 3,000 three-dimensional face shields. I have one on my desk to the public healthcare sector since the onset of the COVID pandemic in Jamaica. So it was founded by Yakini, who is a recent graduate of the Faculty of Engineering, and in a bid to aid Jamaica in tackling the crisis, the CEO, along with 4 other innovative young colleagues that he employed, brainstormed and came up with solutions to the challenge of the COVID crisis. We also have faculty responding to the COVID engineering calls, or actual faculty this time, and that's Dr. Paul Aiken, who's senior lecturer there. We all know Paul, and they contributed via his the commercial arm of the Faculty of Engineering, which is Monatech Engineering Services, and they were brought in a lot of students to help them. The CEO provided and senior lecturer in FOE, along with the team, inclusive of FOE staff and students, conducted biomedical repairs on the University Hospital of the West Indies ventilators and patient monitoring systems. This team also effected repairs to the QIA Cube machine, a sampling processing instrument capable of conducting mass testing of COVID-19 samples. So as you can see, 2 direct effects on our country and our industry by our engineering faculty and students. So the path is there, the road is clear, our importance is clear to the wider audience and to the society. It's just for us now to fulfill our roles as engineers. We're going to have a musical rendition to close off the event, but just let me say a few things before we close off, and that is that it's great to have a second annual event here. It's unfortunate that we're online because all the food that we have, I might have to eat it myself. So all you students who would normally get that stuff, unfortunately can't get it this time. But next time, we'll hopefully get to that. We want to thank the administrative team, as Tanil alluded to. This was no small feat to put it together here. The technical aspects of it, the technical team behind it, our IT guys, Stefan Anderson, Marjorie Spence, Tina Williams, and others who helped to put this together. So I want to say thank you to them. I want to say thank you to everyone who came tonight, or especially our guest speakers, Mr. Omar Sweeney and our principal, Dale Weber, for providing some wonderful words for us. We want to thank the class of 1967, especially for continuing to support our faculty in this important way. I think everybody looks forward to that award each year, and it's not for the size of the award. Tanil, I'm sure you'll have a few new friends, but it's for the prestige of the award. And I think it has become one of the awards that students really look forward to. So we want to say continued thanks for that, and good evening. Yeah, I think it was a great presentation. I hope you guys continue to fly the engineering flag for Mona and for the faculty, and keep doing a good job. We're gonna segue into a musical rendition by a first-year electronics student, Mr. Saeed Bowman, and it's gonna be the song by Chronics, I Can.